Welcome to the result show with upset ankle picks for UFC 271. That was uh, back on Saturday, February 12th at the Houston Center, the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. I am Junior. This is Danny.
Hello, guys.
This is upset ankle picks with Junior and Danny.
Hi.
So first off, we are going to talk about the Kyler Phillips and Marcelo Rojo fight. This was supposed to be on the main card. Last minute, it got swapped with one of the prelim fights. Still a decent fight, and it ended up being a round 3 submission with Kyler Phillips being the winner. I was wrong. Danny, well done, sir.
Yes.
Telling
you, man.
How'd you? Yeah, I mean, he was active. He was active the entire fight, and he tired Marcelo Rojo out. He tired him out, and he ended up getting the submission. It was one of the longer fights on the prelim card. There were a couple of decisions, but this was a submission. Good fight. I would have loved to see a little bit more from Marcelo Rojo. Like I said, I wanted to see the Velociraptor come out. It's his victory thing. But got to give it to Kyler Phillips. He is a scary dude. I will say that, especially being such an active fighter and always active on his feet. He's going to put you in trouble. And he had he did a Superman punch off the cage, didn't he?
Not sure.
I feel like there was a cage involved, and there was some sort of I don't remember.
All I know is that guy is very excited.
He's just running.
Takedown. Yeah, he's just
always active, man. I mean,
he's always active with his strikes. His head movement. He's just nonstop. That's what I like about that guy.
Yeah, and it was a decent fight for the prelim card. Would have liked to see them on the main card, but things happened. Not entirely sure what happened. But again, winner was Kyler Phillips. Well done on that one. And then we go into the main card, and we had Bobby Green against Nasrat Haqparast. This was a fun fight. Bobby Green put a clinic on Haqparast. It was him just showing them the ropes, man. He just outperformed him. That head movement is dangerous. He's so quick, especially with his arms down to the side. You're not going to touch him. He shook off a couple of, and that's what he does. He blocks with his shoulders, right?
Yeah, so you see that was one thing that I was going to tell you about.
He turns into the punch, and he gets it with the shoulder, and so he blocks it, and the entire time he just shakes it off, and it's so fun. What do you think?
Well, here's what I think. He was rating Nasrat like he already figured it out.
He did.
Like if you notice, like I need to learn how to pronounce his name. Nasrat. He was being very predictable with his attack.
Yeah.
And that was why Bobby Green. So he was like, throwing jabs, and then he would throw like a hook. And that's what you see Bobby Green kind of does like Mayweather, covered with his shoulders. And you could see the punches going right through the shoulders.
And he just shakes it.
And if you notice also when he was punching him, right, to keep distance, Nasser was putting pressure on him. But he was using a lot of uppercuts, and then he was doing like the 1-2 and the other guy, he was just taking punches. It was like a punching bag, pretty much.
Yeah. Hack Press was a bloody mess by the end. And that was, again, it was such a fun fight because you get to see the difference of what putting your hands down, being a veteran, right? Don't go in there as an amateur and just put your hands down and think that you're going to be able to move. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
This guy has been doing it for years.
He's
And
been in the UFC for more than 10 years, I believe.
yeah,
His debut was like in 2009, 2010.
Something like that. He's got over 45 fights. I mean, and he has fun with it, man. He has so much fun with it. So I mean, it's fun watching him because it's something you don't see. You don't see it in the UFC. So Bobby Green, well fucking done. Sorry, Danny, you didn't get that one.
Yeah, I know. I feel my heart is broken. But it's okay. Bobby Green, I gotta give it to you. You did a really good job.
Yeah.
The person that said that he didn't perform the way he did is just a hater, because that guy, he just showed that he belongs.
He's just fun. It's a different twist on the fighting aspect. Again, because there's no defense. It's very little defense, and it's not hands in your face defense. It's hands at your side using your shoulders.
For now on, I'm gonna start watching. I'm gonna see if I can find some Bobby Green footage, and I'm gonna learn how to fight with him. Wow, the way he does.
Yeah.
So Bobby Green, if you put some videos out there, try to help with some strikes, I will appreciate that.
There you go. Number one fan right there.
Number one fan.
We did not pick on the Hernandez Moicano fight. We're not going to really talk about it.
Yeah, it was submission. It wasn't a lot going on. It was just,
ended up being a submission by Moicano.
It ended up being a submission in the second round.
Decent fight though. I will say that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. But he stayed composed. It was, I liked the fight.
It was good. But we will move to the middleweight fight of Jared Cannonier and Derek Brunson. This exactly what I thought. Jared Cannonier is just too strong for Derek Brunson. He got him down. Early in the first. And I would say within 10 to 15 seconds, he was back up. He used his body. He just moved and got back to the cage and shimmied back up, and ended up knocking him out with some ground and pound in the second round. 4 minutes, 29 seconds. It almost ended. He didn't get it though, and Cannonier ended up. Oh man, it was so good because again, I was right. He was too fucking strong. You can't stop somebody who is a natural heavyweight that moves down willingly to become a middleweight, and he is just nothing but muscle. He's just chiseled, and this guy is just those cannons and Brunson, let's give it to him because he got him down. I didn't think he was going to be able to get him down at all.
Actually took him down a couple times.
Yeah, he took him down
like three times, right?
No, 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
So I will give it to Derek Brunson. Didn't think he had it in him. And he ended up trying to submit him a couple of different times. Couldn't get it through. Again, Jared Cannonier just too strong for Derek Brunson. I do like the fact that Cannonier called out Dana White after he won and said he wants the belt. He wants a shot at Izzy. So I wouldn't be surprised that Izzy's next fight is Jared Cannonier. And that's an interesting fight, but we'll talk about that when that gets set in stone.
Yeah. One thing that I also want to bring up is, if you notice, there was a reason why Cannonier was putting pressure on Brunson. If you notice, like, it's harder for wrestlers to get a takedown when they are been the one being pressured.
Yeah.
So that was really good by Cannonier. And kudos to Brunson, man. He did what he had to do. You know, he was using his wrestling, but
and again,
Jared's a beast.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Derek. He did a hell of a job. Again, didn't think he was going to be able to take him down, but he did.
He did, yeah.
So good job on that. Cannonier, fucking well done. Love that fight. Love that knockout. Yeah, I'd like to see Izzy against Cannonier. That's an interesting fight.
That's gonna be nuts. Dana already said it.
It has to. He might have been saying that for the audience.
Dana, if
he might
you
have been
notice,
putting on a show.
Yeah, that happened. The same thing happened when Stipe beat Verdun. He actually went to Dana like, give me a title shot.
Yeah.
And Dana had no choice but to give it to him. The same thing happened to UFC 271. You had no choice but to give it to him. That was a hell of a performance.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun fucking fight. And it'll be a tough one for Izzy for sure. But let us talk really quickly. let's just rip this Band-Aid off, right? Derek Lewis, my dog. You killed me, son. But you know what? Black Beast, I ride with you anyway. That's my dog. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He's still number 4 in my book.
He's still got the most knockouts.
Yeah, he's still number 4. And I'd like to see anybody try to take that number from him, because he was number 3. He moves down at least 1. And if you wanted to move him down further, give him number 6, make him swap. That's fine. He'll knock out 2 other people to take number 4.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that.
But who will they put Derek Lewis? They're not going to put him against. I mean, he pretty much fought almost everyone.
I mean, who would you? I don't know who you put him against. That's a good question.
He already fought Cyril Glenn. He fought Alexander Volkov.
I mean, but you're gonna have to end up doing rematches, right? It's gonna end up happening. You could see Stipe. Oh, so Stipe's 3.
Yeah.
Stipe's 3. So Lewis must have been.
No, Stipe number 2.
No, let me double check.
Number 1 is Cyril Gahn.
Yes. No, Francis is number 1. Well, I mean, if you're doing it that way.
Well, the champ, it goes. If
you're doing it that way.
Yeah, it goes champion, and then number 1, number 2, number 3. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So they did just move him down once. So he's number 4 now, Derek Lewis. What do you give him, blades again?
No, that's I don't want to say that.
You can't give him blades again, right? I mean, that's exciting as
Yeah, that's too strong, man.
Signing his death warrant, right?
Oh, I know which guy that you give him. How about this? How about Jairzinho Rosenstruck? That would be a fun fight.
Rosenstruck?
Yeah, he's number 8, but he can still fight. You know, he's fighting someone in the top 10. Because
he just lost to Blades. So I mean, it would be interesting.
I mean, but he lost by decision. It wasn't like.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy, but
So who?
even still,
Oh, that he fought. Did he fought Andrei Arlovsky? And Andrei Arlovsky is on a run, but he's in the top 16. That's the thing. I don't think they're gonna put him with someone that far out.
I don't think you're gonna give Arlovsky.
Yeah.
Arlovsky's done.
Or they can give him. You know what? This guy, Tom Aspinall.
No, I think you
Oh.
have to stay in the top 10.
Yeah,
So
he's in the top 10.
you
He's
think,
number. He's number 10.
yeah, no, I think that's too.
You think that's too
I mean,
low for
sure,
him?
you could, I guess.
Because he fought. I mean, he fought Alexander Volkov, and they probably gonna
Chris Dawkins
do.
just lost to him. You
They're
could.
gonna. They're gonna do. Here's what I think they're gonna do. They're gonna do Alexander Volkov versus Curtis Blade. They're gonna do. You know why? It's kind of difficult because if John Jones
No,
doesn't come with
heavyweight is too shallow of a pool.
yeah,
I mean, you
it's
end
too
up having to
hard.
do rematches, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Tai
Yeah.
Tuivasa, you were a fucking badass. That was an elbow that knocked
Yeah,
out
you know the weird thing.
Lewis, and that was. I'm interested in Tuivasa versus Gan.
Yeah.
I think you have to play that one.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah,
That's the next one, right? That's the next fight to make.
They're gonna
Because
do
Ngannou's out. Ngannou's out for
yeah.
at least a year,
hmm
and who knows if he signs again. So I think you go Tuivasa versus Gan, probably June, July is probably when I would say. That gives everybody enough rest, and I think you run it.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun fight. Tai Tuivasa, we got the shoey. Unfortunately, the camera, when I was watching, at least, the cameraman was not paying attention to the shoey, I guess. so he didn't see it. But when Tai was walking back to the locker rooms, everybody saw he did at least one more shoey.
I bet.
At least one.
I would not do that.
No. Cheers to that guy, right?
You could catch a virus like that.
Oof, you can catch something. You can catch something. But hell of a fight. And you know what? Lewis looked good. He took him down a couple of times. I was shocked in that, but he did pretty well. And then just that second round, Tai hit him with that elbow, that nasty elbow, and caught him looking, and just folded him. I was a little scared.
Savage.
I was a little scared. I was glad he didn't start sounding like Blades, but I was a little scared for Derek. But good fight.
And one thing he did, he did a perfect game plan. If you notice, he put Derrick Lewis against the cage using dirty boxing.
Yeah,
and
I told you that was going to happen. I told you it was going to happen.
You did.
I said that was going to happen because he's gotten really good at that, and he did the same thing with Sakai. And he puts him against that cage, and he just controls the entire thing. Derrick Lewis had no choice but to try to take him down, and he just swept the leg and just fell on top of him. So I mean, it was smart on Derrick Lewis's part, and it was even smarter for Tai Tuivasa. I mean, you have to control that, right? You have to control that situation. Somebody as explosive as Derrick Lewis, you have to control it, and he did. And he got rocked a couple of times, and he has a hell of a chin because he took a couple of those Derrick Lewis haymakers, and he stumbled, but he kind of shrugged it off and just kept on throwing right into it. I think it was the first round. He got a little bit in trouble, and he just started throwing. Like he gets rocked a little bit, and his instinct right?
Yeah,
His
I was
instinct is
like,
just throw for as far as you can, like hard as you can, just throw it. And that's what he did. And he was just slugging anywhere, just swinging wild. Um, in any one of those. And a couple of them did. And he stumbled a little bit. Lewis stumbled a little bit. Great trade-offs though. It was a lot of fun to watch that fight. It was everything that everybody hoped for.
and for a 265-pound guy, he is very quick. If you notice, Derry Lewis is just stand there waiting for the target, and he just hit you with one, and you just go down. But Taya did a really good job, moving.
Yeah.
That was a kick right there, moving, putting Lewis against the cage, use dirty boxing,
Yeah.
and then when the perfect opportunity present, he just with an elbow, he and the sick thing is like he was looking Derry Lewis in the eye when he did it. I was like really sick. He just put his hand there and he just blasted him with an elbow.
Yeah.
And perfectly placed. So good job on Taya Tuivasa right there.
It was good.
And he's on a five 5-5 winning streak right now.
Yeah, it's impressive right now. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
And then so Ty won that one. And then we go to the main event, which was Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. Izzy. Was anybody surprised? I don't think anybody was surprised, right?
No, it was more like a chess match. And I knew this was gonna happen. I told you, right? This was gonna go by decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Robert Whittaker, he in the first round, I thought that Izzy was gonna finish him because the way he was, touching him. But then as the round 2, round 3, it looks like Robert was finding himself.
Yeah.
He was throwing, if you notice, he wasn't throwing those haymakers, he was just throwing jab. And it was Izzy was, it was making for Izzy was a little bit hard to finding him as the later, for the later rounds. But he did, Izzy did a really good job. It was a chess match. I think it should have been a split decision because I think, Robert Whittaker, he let that takedown.
Not at all.
Count.
Not at all.
Not at all. So you think it was a unanimous decision?
I think it was a unanimous decision.
Okay.
And honestly, I think and I'm gonna stoke the fire a little bit with Michael Chandler. Did you see all that? Michael Chandler, you are my hero. Saying what everybody thought. Dude's just going in there and sparring, man. He's not going for a finish. He's just doing the bare minimum, I think. But I think he won every single round. I don't think it was a difficult decision at all.
You didn't think that Robert Whittaker won a round or 2?
He may have won 1, but I wouldn't give him 2.
At least I thought he won like 2 rounds.
And I think Chandler's right. I think you go in there and you do the minimum amount. You keep your distance, and you pepper them, right? You do the ground control. I don't think Izzy was ever in trouble. I think Whittaker was in trouble. Like, to me, it seemed like Whittaker was kind of cowering. He was staying away. He was trying to get away from him. Maybe he was just trying to create distance, which is kind of dumb.
I mean, what else would you do?
Why would you create distance?
Like,
Izzy's got a 7-inch reach on you when you're trying to create distance. Like, you have to put You have to be on the other side of the ring. Like, what are you doing? You have to close that gap. You can't
Oh
do
yeah, yeah,
anything.
I agree with you.
But I think a lot of the time, I think Robert Whittaker was on the run. I think he was, and again, I think Izzy's just too long. You can't really keep him down on the ground. You can't really get away from the guy. You can't really submit the guy because he's too long. He's got a 7-inch reach on the guy. I mean, it's kind of unfair. Um, and again, I think Izzy just went in there and just kind of, I mean, did what he's known for right now, right? I mean, he is on a win streak. Yes, I'll give him that. But again, I don't think they're spectacular wins in any sense of the word.
And
Um,
this is why I like the way Usman, because if you notice when he fought Jorge
Usman
the first,
fights.
yeah, no, here's the mentality that Usman had. When he fought Jorge, and it was like a 2 weeks or 3 weeks notice, right?
Yeah.
You know, they were like, oh, it wasn't. Some people were saying, oh, it wasn't enough time.
But
That
the
guy,
first time
yeah,
they fought,
the
I
first
think
time.
I think it was a couple of days notice. I think it was like
Oh, it was a
13
couple of days,
days. Yeah,
13 days.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Go ahead with your point.
So he didn't finish him, right? It wasn't my favorite performance, in my opinion. But what Usman did, he said, you know what? I'm gonna start finishing him. And he called for that fight and he did it.
Yeah.
He almost finished Colby Covington in the second fight. But he still dominated that, most of the rounds, in my opinion. So when you're a champion like that, even when you remember when Demetrius Johnson, he was looking for the finish too.
Yeah.
Because why? He wasn't very well known. He didn't get the respect that he deserved. So what he was doing, he was like being in there and just finishing people. And it's true. When you get to a certain level, like when Anderson Silva had a big winning streak, and you see like Jones, once they reach that level, being established as a champion, they just, some of the fight just go by decision, most of them. But Usman is very different. He's just a different animal. He's just, looking for the finish. And that's why I think he just need to find easy, need to find himself, like he did say in the interview, that he needs he find like a new motivation. He needs to, because in this sport you need to be motivated by something, because once you get to the championship, people are gonna start coming for you,
Yeah.
you know. And there's
Yeah.
our boy Chamaya coming for both division, welterweight and middleweight.
Oh man. Kamaev, Kamzat. Is that who you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Chamaya.
Kamzat Kamaev. Oh man.
Chamaya.
He is my number one fighter right now. My favorite
Number
fighter.
one.
Oh yeah, by far right now. Lewis was my third. Still is. And yeah, Izzy ended up winning that fight. So it was, and going back, the first fight between not Kamzat, thanks, between Kamaru Usman and Masvidal it took place on the 12th of July, and it was announced on the 3rd of July that he was being replaced with Masvidal after Gilbert Burns failed a COVID test. So it was a quick turnaround. It wasn't. I mean, maybe he had a couple of days extra, maybe 15 days, but I don't think it was much more than that, right?
Yeah.
So, and we know what's next for Izzy, right? Izzy
Kind of,
gets
yeah.
Cannonier.
Yeah. That's,
So that'll be an interesting fight, I think. I think that will be.
the next topic is gonna be March 5th coming out, Colby versus Jorge. If we don't talk about that,
Yeah,
we
I'm fucking excited for that one. Covington versus Masvidal. So that's
that's
UFC
personal
2.
right there.
That's a very personal fight.
Yeah, it's very
And
personal.
that'll be someone's getting knocked out, I think.
You think someone's getting knocked
I'm
out?
I'm thinking somebody's getting knocked out. But we will end up talking about that a little bit
Well,
later on.
I disagree with you.
You don't think
One
someone's
of
getting
them,
knocked out?
no, it's either someone dominate 5 round or the other guy knock the other guy out. Because we know that Covington is not gonna knock out Jorge.
Or he's probably gonna. I don't know.
We haven't
But
seen that many knockouts. Well, when he usually
by
wins
Covington,
by,
yeah, there's not
yeah.
a whole lot of knockouts by
So
Covington.
it either goes two way, either 5 rounds Covington or Jorge in the first 2 rounds. That's it.
That's a good prediction though.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
I don't hate that. Yeah, there's a couple of good fights on that one. Kevin Holland's on that card. Kevin Holland, Alex Oliveira, Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell, and Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev. Oh man, we're gonna talk about Fiziev.
Yeah.
Because we went down a rabbit hole last time.
Yeah.
talking a little bit about Fiziev, and he gets his turn next. And then of course we have Kobe Covington versus Masvidal. And again, that's Saturday, March 5th. Is when that is.
That's
That
why
is.
like
It's
3
what, 2
weeks.
weeks, 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in about a week and a half with the next episode of Upset Ankle Picks with Danny and Junior. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Thank you, guys.